Okay, so welcome to section 6.6, which is on scale models and scale drawings. We did a little bit of this yesterday in the video at the end. We talked about that model, and it was like 20 something feet to something inches and stuff. This is more pointed. It's basically all about that kind of idea. So again, we've already worked and solved with proportions. Now we're going to do the same thing again. Talk about scale drawings and making scale drawings. First, a scale drawing or scale model is used to represent an object that is too large or too small to be drawn or built at actual size. The lengths and the widths of the objects on a scale drawing or model are proportional to the lengths and widths of the actual objects. That's where we can get into this. We're talking about proportions. Scale is determined by the ratio of a given length on the drawing or model to its corresponding length on the actual object. That's what I want you to write down in your notes there. Scale is the drawing or model length to the actual length. So if you got 1 inch and that's saying that's 3 feet, that's your scale. If you got 1 centimeter and you're going it's 2 millimeters, that's your scale as well. And scale is written so that the unit length of the drawing or the model is listed first. Again, model goes first, then the actual length. Now where you may see this a bit at realistically is like on maps. And I know this isn't something we do as much anymore because we have GPS and takes care of a lot of it. But I know like in your world history classes, a lot of times you guys do map activities to kind of get a perspective about things. So you may see somewhere in like a picture of a drawing like 1 inch is 250 miles or 1 centimeter is equal to 160 kilometers or something like this, where or they don't tell you but they like have it so you can take your ruler and you put it up against this. You go, oh, this is about an inch in the ruler and it's 100 miles or something like that. To me, my favorite joke about scale is from Dumb and Dumber, and I don't know if we'll see if I get in trouble for this legally, but just a kind of classic scene that kind of jumps into this. And I probably let it play, but I probably should stop. But that joke there that he's looking at the map and they've drove only 4 inches. Well, that's been hundreds of miles for them to get from the East Coast to towards Colorado. But the joke is if you look at a map, it looks like 4 inches. Well, 4 inches might actually be, in this case here, 1,000 miles because it's 250 miles per inch. So that's what a scale is. Okay, it's scale drawing. Is it something smaller or bigger technically, depending on what it is, to represent something else? Now, scale factors, where people kind of get a little tripped up at. The scale is just the representation of one to the other. So the scale factor is the scale where the units are both the exact same, doesn't even make sense, exact same, so that it can be written without units. So for instance, we had like a scale, 1 inch is equal to 1 yard. Me even saying 1 inch to 36 inches is still the scale because I'm using the units. As soon as I drop the units, because they're both the same, 1 to 36, that's a scale. And so if you have any, like, experience yourself or working with a parent or something like that or a family member doing like train stuff or working with models or something like that, like old-timey models where you plastic and glue them together, or like even like die-cast cars, those are sometimes are scale models, like 1 to 24 or 1 to something else. Like the old John Deere toys when I was a kid, that was a big deal. So those are all scales as well. Now for us, the most part on this, whoops, let me make this fit in the screen for you. So Joanna knows the distance to her grandmother's house is 21 miles. On a map, the distance is 5.25 inches. What is the scale of the map? So again, remember it's model to real or actual. In this case, the model is 5.25 inches because her grandmother does not live 5.25 inches away, but it's 21 miles in real life. Okay, now, if we're going to figure out the scale, what we want to know is this, and this is the way it always works. I know it's 5.25 inches to get 21 miles. The real question is, how much would 1 inch get us? So we're going to say this is X miles. So we're going to cross multiply. 21 times 1 equals 5.25 times X. Okay, so 21 equals 5.25x, and then we'll just divide. So I really have to do 21 divided by 5.25, which luckily is very simple. It's 4. So this gives us 1 inch to 4 miles. And there are two ways you can write it. You can write it as a fraction, or you can write it as the ratio with the colon. So 1 inch is equivalent to 4 miles. All right, next example. Talking about Kevin drawing a scale drawing of his living room. The actual room is 16 feet long. If the room is 12 inches long in the drawing, what is the scale of the drawing? Okay. So again, model to actual. The model is actually 12 inches long. The real is actually 16 feet long. So this becomes, again, 1 inch to how many feet? Okay. So we solve the proportion by cross multiplying. So 16 times 1 equals 12 times x. So 16 equals 12x. Divide by 12. This ends up becoming 4/3. Or 1 1/3 is x. Whoops, sorry. Off the screen there, aren't I? Okay. So that means that we have 1 inch, and this is where we'd like to use the colon, 1 1/3 feet. Okay. All right. All right, now, that's kind of it. I mean, it's for right now. There's a lot more to this section, but the video will be really long, so we'll kind of do the application stuff in class. But yeah, there we go. You got a question on your homework, and we'll talk in class tomorrow. Thanks.